Hi. This is take 700,000,003. I just did a really good one, by the way, but my computer was running out of space, so it stopped it immediately. Anyway, I apologize for how long this has taken. There are two reasons. One, I'm a lazy son of a bitch. And two, I do these videos in one take, and if there's anything that I'm not happy about, if I stumble over my words in a way that I don't like, I will just end the whole thing and restart it. In a long video like that, I've been here a while. So, long video like this. Let's just keep going. Normally I wouldn't, believe it or not. That's why this takes so long. So, I made a bad mistake. I got two job offers on the same day a couple weeks ago. One is for my local paper, which I should have taken, and one is for this. I took this. This was a sales job. Now, I wasn't knocking on people's doors. Well, I was, but I wasn't, like, cold knocking. I had several prearranged appointments a day, and my job was to do a demonstration of sorts. I'm going to be very vague. I signed an MNDA when I started this job, and I planned on getting a look at it the day that I quit. I forgot to do that, and this absolutely is the kind of company that would sue me, so I'll be vague. Anyway, my job was to do a demonstration for people in their home. They thought that they were just getting a free test of some sort, and it would take about 2 hours. They didn't know that. And then at the end, of course, my job is to get the sale, to close the deal. Fair enough. There's nothing evil about that. That's just sales. There is a base rate, right? But you basically have to make commission if you want to pay rent. The base rate's not good. You'd make something like, I don't know, $90 a day if you have 3 appointments, which you might not. And there are other things about this job that should have set off immediate red flags. Some of them, they did. I was blinded by the potential for money, and the potential for money is staggering. It really is. There are people in every team meeting who sell 3, 4, 5 units a day, and 5 units is $1,000. Because these things are so expensive, and I buy them, by the way. Seriously, I'm sold on the products and the services. They're fantastic, even if I'm not sold in the company. When I own a home, if I own a home, I'm going to want a whole suite of these things. Anyway, you can make a massive amount of money if you're good at this job. And that's why I joined, and that's why I sort of turned off my inhibitions and didn't pay attention to all the other problems that were just all around me. There are some really great things about the job as well. There's the fact that you have 3-day weekends, which is good, even though the hours in the week are so long, you basically just work and sleep. There's a really supportive culture. Of course there is. And there's the money. As I say, that's about it. The attrition rate is staggering. And let me tell you why I quit, and then we'll get on to the sort of culty angles that I promised. The reason that I quit, we do these rebuttal circles every day in the 2-hour team meetings where our job is to sort of role play our more difficult customers, and a more experienced salesperson will then sort of break down their inhibitions and get them to sign the paperwork. Fine, again, closing the deal is part of sales. I'm not naive about that. I did know that. The reason I quit is because my last call left a particularly bad taste in my mouth. I was on a call with an old lady. She was widowed, very, very sweet. And when we got to the end, I said, "So which option makes the best sense for you and your family?" And she's like, "Oh, well, this all seems great, but I'm very old and I don't make decisions right away. I want to talk to my son, and I trust him." And I knew I wasn't supposed to be like, "Yeah, fair enough," but that's what I did. I was like, "Oh, yeah, fair enough." And then I left, and then I was on the call with my manager. He didn't give me shit. All he did was he said basically all the things that I should have been doing. And this went on for about 10 minutes, by the way, of him being like, "Oh, but wouldn't your son want you to have blank blank for your health, for your home? Wouldn't he want blah, blah, blah?" In exactly that tone. I'm not shitting you. That's exactly the way he said it. This slimy, false concern. And I don't know, the scales, I think, fell from my eyes all at once. And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, that's great information. Yeah, I absolutely should have done that. I'll log that away. I'll do that next time." And basically, I was just agreeing with this guy to tell him, without telling him, "Look, hang up the phone before I call you an asshole." Right? And I was thinking in my head, like, I quit. I quit on that call. I quit the next day in practice, but in theory, I quit before the end of that phone call. Everything just went crashing down all at once. I mean, obviously, there were things before that made me think maybe I don't want to do this. But that's the time when I was like, this isn't working. I was at a crossroads there. I was getting better and better at it. Everybody at that company told me that I would do well. I believe them. I got the soft skills. I know how to talk to people. People seem to like me for some reason or another. I'm very performative when I speak, so this demonstration that we do, it makes good sense for me to do it. I realized in that call, I don't want to be good at it. I think you can figure out why. I didn't want to be the kind of person who'd do that. If my grandmother told me that somebody who was doing that job went into their home under essentially misleading pretenses, right? They don't know how long it's going to take. They don't know that they're going to be sold anything. And she wanted to talk to me, right? My grandmother wanted to talk to me about the decision she was about to make. And the salesperson tried to pressure her into not letting her do that. What would I think about that guy? I would harshly judge the morality of somebody doing my job, and so I can't do that job anymore. Anyway, here are the culty bits. So, in this office, everybody seems to revere and constantly quote, by the way, the guy who started these 2 offices. Really smart. Apparently he mentors Mr. Beast's marketing team, and I would not be at all surprised by that. He is a sales genius. Master of body language, master of communication, magnetic to listen to, great to talk to, fascinating. There was something about him I didn't like from the beginning. And this was not an environment where I felt comfortable pointing that out. Now, fair enough. Like, I didn't want to be a jerk. I'm like, hey, this guy you like, are you sure you like him? I wasn't going to do that. But everybody just loved this dude. There are a lot of good things about listening to him. I learned something new every time. He's all about, like, sales philosophy, like, kind of, I guess, Art of War adjacent, like the battles won between the ears, that kind of thing. After a while, I realized that this guy's main strength is that he's convincing, right? So that's what you can learn. He's very assertive, but I don't know, there was just something about him that I didn't like. Now that's okay, that's not particularly culty, the charismatic leader thing, whatever. A few other things. One, and I only noticed this in retrospect, it's very subtle. When someone left the company, nobody mentioned them. Now that might have been a fluke, it was only 2 weeks, these are good people, they haven't been coached to do this. But it seems like it's fostering a mentality of, like, there's the winners, and then there's everybody else, right? Which, again, sales. I understand that. Here's another thing. You really don't get a lot of time to yourself in this job, which probably is just a side effect of the long hours. The Telegram chat is buzzing over, and I wish you could see this chat, by the way. Holy shit. When I say it's not an MLM, you're not going to believe me if you see this. I can't show it to you. I do have screen caps. I cannot show you, unfortunately. But it's the managers use more emojis than letters. Everybody's using the gifs of the baby going, yes, and everybody's nicknames have $signs in them. The language is exactly what I use when I'm parodying multi-level marketing schemes. It's really fascinating. Everybody's super encouraging to everybody else. Of course they are. That's part of this sort of energizing environment. The business is structured so interestingly. So, this isn't culty, this is just, it's almost that word, but I'm not British, I can't say it. Basically, there's very little oversight when you're in a home, right? You're technically not allowed to pressure or scare anybody, but if you don't make sales, you don't pay rent, right? So, the small amount of oversight probably works very well for the company. The fact that we're also all technically contractors means that any real issues can be shunted off onto that fact. They got benefits. Most contractors don't get benefits. But, oh, by the way, apparently this structure, everybody seems to know that this structure is a scam except me. I had no idea, so you don't have to be gentle with me over that. I got duped. What else? There's that. I actually did write some notes down, and I'm not going to restart unless I absolutely have to. No, that's about it. It really just feels like a sort of culty atmosphere where everybody is very driven, everybody's very encouraging, that's all great. But it all comes down to this sort of insular sense of us against the world. And it started, to me anyway, to feel like us against the client. All of the language is about caring, right, because of what we're selling. It's about caring, it's about blah, blah, blah. But that wasn't real. It's not that I don't think people there believe it. It's that it all comes down to money, personal gain. And I don't know if that's okay, or at least not okay for me. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are fine with this, and I don't think those people are evil. I just think that just because I can't tell you what I'm selling, I can't make that joke. Damn it, it's a good joke. They're really interesting people. A lot of them were taken in by this company and given a chance when they were at a particularly vulnerable point in their lives. They've since made quite good on that. They've done well for themselves. A lot of these people that I worked with they're making shitloads of money because they're very good at this. I won't say anything bad about them. I just couldn't be in that environment anymore. And I was starting to believe it. I was starting to revere this dude, even though there was something at the beginning that I thought, you know what, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think any of these people are bad people. I just think that they've allowed themselves to forget that what they're actually there to do is to make money. They've subsumed this kind of professional facade into themselves. The script, oh fucking hell, the first page of the script, I wish I could read it to you. It's a lot about like guilting people into making money, right? What was it? I live in the richest country in the world. By the way, this is an all-Canadian company. I don't know what the fuck they were on about with that. That creates thousands of new millionaires every day, and I struggle to just get by, providing only the essentials. Like, it's all about facing your family and telling them that you're a loser. It's really, really fascinating. All in all, I think you could harshly judge me for not figuring this out sooner. I was there for 2 weeks. I'm surprised it lasted that long. I just wanted to make money. And then I realized, you know what? I think I want a little bit more than that. So that's, I don't know if this sounds like a cult to anybody else. Maybe you had to be there, maybe not. This sort of business structure is apparently fairly common, and it is, I would imagine, massively, massively profitable. Anyway, as I say, you live and you learn.